Hey guys, it's me, Cameo or Rosie Red Charizard here, and today's video is another Hot Takes episode. So this is gonna be episode 2, and I'm gonna be talking about single moms. So my take on single moms actually being one here is I see a lot of judgment online about it, and it actually makes me kind of upset because a lot of men and women online feel very opinionated about a single mom, and where they're like, "Oh, I can't let a deadbeat. I can't believe having a kid with a deadbeat," or "Oh, they're just using the state for help," and everything like that. And it's like that's kind of why they made the free programs to help single mothers, like WIC, or through uh, there are some that give you free diapers, some give you free food. Like WIC gives you free formula for your kid, free food for your small children all the way up till the age of 5, or at least for my area, that's how it is. And I find it kind of pathetic that people are always so upset, like, oh, how dare they use assistance? And it's like, that's the entire point of having the assistance. Because, sure, their baby daddy or their ex or their husband or whatever, some people end up with like the most shittiest partner. Like, they could be the most loving person when you first meet them, but I see so much hate online being like, oh, I would never had a kid with a deadbeat. And it's like, well, when I first fell in love with them, or like in the scenario of, oh, I just fell in love with them for the person that they are, and they kept up a mask the entire time and they didn't show who they were. And it makes me rather upset that, like, if you know about narcissism, if you know about abuse, oh, it's the victim's fault. And that's why I constantly keep saying it's the victim's fault for falling into it. And it's like, no, they just got very tired of it, or living with another person, or being married to another person, and they never stepped up. So it's basically being a mother to a man child, or, well, having to take care of their own child at the same time. And I'm sorry, guys, about the whole refrigerator sound. I'm doing this at work because I have a little bit of free time. And basically, I keep seeing it online. How could you have? I would never have a kid with a deadbeat. I would never walk away from my kid. I would never say I never wanted my kid type thing. And it's just kind of like, you haven't been in that woman's shoes. Have you been in a scenario where you felt trapped? You couldn't leave the relationship because you didn't have a support system to go back to? Did you have your own family try to take your kid away from you, or call CPS on you just because you didn't agree with their views? Did you work a full-time job while trying to take care of a child and a household and pay rent and pay bills all by yourself while your significant other sits on the couch, plays video games all day, and legit does not want to pick up a finger to clean the house or help with the child? Then I don't want to hear it. Like, I find it very pathetic, even if it's like girls with boyfriends that don't have any kids yet, and they're like, oh, you had a kid with a deadbeat, ha 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 ha, like making a joke out of it. And it's like, well, if you're gonna make a joke about it, it's probably gonna end up happening to you. Then that's just me being a little petty by saying that, but at the same time, the ones with the most ugliest souls are the ones that will finally get their comeuppance, more or less. Like, sure, make fun of the girl online that wants to post about her baby because she finds him so cute and actually has a moment to herself and just wants to post a little video to make herself happy because maybe her depressed, like her postpartum is probably getting bad, and just wants to post a video and be like, oh, look how cute, look at his first walk, look at his first words, look at a new thing he learned. And yet you're online trying to bring them down. Like, do you not have anything better to do with your life? Really? And then I see uh, when a girl gets out of the breakup and goes out and tries to date, yeah, there's like the young dad, well, young men that are like from aging of 21 to 25. They're like, yeah, I'll be your stepdad, or do you wish you had a kid with me, type thing. And it's, I want to say that phrase is so ugly and so gross, just because, like, if it was in any other scenario, probably yeah. But at the same time, I love my kid, and it probably would be nice to have a kid with someone that would probably step up, but you never know, honestly. Like, you could end up with this really nice person, and they help take care of you and your kid, but there's always the thought of maybe they're gonna do something bad to you, maybe they're gonna do something bad to your kid, maybe you're gonna be in that endless trap scenario all over again, and that doesn't help with people online being like, oh, how crappy of a parent you are, and then judging if you breastfed versus bottle fed, or based on what you feed your kid for dinner. It's like, at least my kid's eating. Can you not put in your 2 cents? Like, I remember this one TikTok video of a girl posting uh, her feeding her kid with basically pizza and chips and probably like a juice pouch or like a glass of milk. And people were trying to tear her to shreds for that. And it's like, that's the same shit our parents like raised us on. It's probably Tony's Pizza, most likely boxed fried chicken, ramen, like the Maruchan ramen, and maybe scrambled eggs if they didn't even know how to cook when they became a divorced parent. Because you gotta understand, 60% of society now is just divorced people. And it's kind of like, why are you bringing someone down for them just trying to live their own life and try to show the happy sides of their own life online? Like, you can go back and tell me, hey, it's their fault for posting online, so I'm allowed to say whatever I want. But at the same time, does that make you feel any better? Does that make you feel better to bring someone down just because you're having a shitty day? Or maybe you're starting to feel your own resentment against your parents, and or maybe you just don't like seeing people happy. And there's some people that actually target couples. Like, I know a few people that have had like exes target people for months on end, and I find it rather ridiculous because it's like, you can easily move on and let them enjoy having a kid with this new person or enjoy having a new life with this person. But to bring people down just for your own amusement, like, I know there's like trolls and stuff online, but at the same time, there's already so much hate in the world, so why add more to it? Like, sure, the world's going to crap. The world's burning, weather's being bipolar, and like, I know that the world is crap, but at the same time, I try to put my neck out for people just so that it doesn't seem so awful. Like, yes, I'm gonna offer up some of my closet if you don't have enough clothes. I'm gonna offer up uh, like a spot on my couch if you need a couple days away from a terrible scenario. But at the same time, why vent it all for everyone to see? Like, all you're gonna get is them probably stitching your comment and being like, oh, and then put like a ugly filter on and start talking like a douchebag dad or a deadbeat dad, being like, oh, did I pay my child support or anything like that? Because there's people out there that don't pay their child support, it ends up getting a couple grand back or even more than that, and they're like rooting on the deadbeat, like, woo, go ahead, you're doing so great. And or they're playing into their whole view of what they made themselves up to be, being like, oh, my ex just doesn't let me see my kid. And have you actually sat and talked with the mom? Have you actually sat with the parent that has the kid constantly and actually understood their point of view? Then what's the point of you speaking up and saying all these awful things about them? Like, they already have enough guilt of being a single parent, not being able to hold a relationship together because the other one wouldn't step up. And then adding in that they feel overwhelmed already, most likely because of all the bills, how the world is, how they brought a kid into said crappy world, and just hoping that their life turns out for the best. And what I don't get is some people don't have that empathy. Like, I feel out for most people's scenarios. I probably lived them, or I'm the youngest of 8. I've seen all of it in some form of way or another. And even with my own parents, I saw people call my dad a deadbeat. I saw people calling my mom a narcissistic crazy lady. And given, I won't say they're not wrong for my mom thing, but my dad tried. But my mom always made it hard for him. Like, if he tried visitation, which I only saw him every other weekend, she would end up calling the police on him just because he did something that she didn't like. Like, oh, forgot one outfit and then wouldn't let go for 12 years. Like, I had a black velvet dress or something like that I wore once to my dad's, and my mom never saw it again. But given I was like 10 years old, and I probably lost it during like Girl Scouts or during some Christmas party or at my grandparents', and then has seen my mom flip shit for multiple years, being like, oh, we're not bringing anything to your dad's because he never gives it back type thing. And it's like, if you haven't dealt with living with a single parent before, then I don't want to really hear you, the person online, just being a troll. I really don't want to hear it. Because you never lived in that scenario where the mom was trying to carry herself or make it seem like everything's fine. But you can see her having mental breakdowns. Like, for me, I had to be my mom's comforter. Like, I had to make sure she was alright. I would see her crying in her room, and I would automatically go climb on her bed, rub her back, and make sure she's alright. Because I could tell, raising 3 kids, given I'm part of a mixed family. So, seeing her raise 3 kids, and then starting to see her, like, mask kind of slide when she was going through divorce and through the whole move from my hometown to where I went to high school. It's just kind of, it gives me perspective of don't judge unless you actually seen it yourself. And that's more or less the whole reason why I'm civil with my ex, is I saw how terrible it was trying to go to events where there weren't 2 parents there because they couldn't stand to be in the same room. And I had my father miss out on a lot of events, which he tried to be there for, but any time that my 2 parents were in the same room, it turned into a very violent area. So it was just best for him not to show up type scenario, because my mom had just a lot of built up anger she never dealt with. And I feel like that goes back to like the full postpartum type stuff, or the whole depression that just never gets treated. Because that falls back to the whole single mom scenario. There's a lot of moms that have that depression and they try not to let it show. And if they do let it show, they're known as crazy, dramatic, emotional. And it's like, even though that we're mothers, we should be able to be ourselves and not be held to such a high standard, or even a double standard. Honestly, this is something I could go on for hours for, but I'm gonna end it right here. And hopefully this gave you guys a at least brand new perspective of everything. And if you want to, I know a few trolls are probably going to end up finding this video and want to add to it, and honestly that's completely fine, because I know there's going to be trolls, I know there's going to be haters and stuff like that. And haters is such a very, I want to say like a hipster term, kind of. Where it's like, oh, I deal with haters, oh. Sorry. But mostly, I really hope that this video gave you guys a better view into single moms. Like, I feel like this was a video that definitely needed to be made, especially because I was kind of getting tired of just seeing all the hate on TikTok, because it's always someone bad-mouthing their ex, or someone always bad-mouthing a girl for some sort of parenting reason. Like, if they're not doing anything that actually harms the kid, like, if the house is clean, they're not trying to shove the camera in the kid's face constantly, unless, like, hey, if it's a newborn, of course, let them have their fun, because small children are not small forever. Once they turn about 1 year old, it feels like time moves by super fast, and it's why we say children are like 6 months old, 13 months old, because like a 10-month-old versus a 13-month-old could be crawling to walking, just learning how to walk and maybe mumbling words. So that's more or less one of the reasons why I don't complain too much about seeing like the small children online, just as long as it's not like them in a straight up diaper, because I feel like there's a lot of perverts online. But if it's like a whole family video, like a family channel, I'm not a big fan of those type of ones, just because I feel like they're using their kids for views, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful night. And if you guys have any other things you want me to like talk about, what I feel about or what I think about, then feel free and let me know. I would love to hear it. And have a wonderful day. Bye!